when it comes to trading and investing, all of us have gained access to top level experts and structured learning. Now, these calls are great because we put them on as an extra incentive and extra value for the team. So all of you can get like a different perspective broken down in a different way. Because one thing is to learn things in a structured way from what I'm going to call like a corporate standpoint, right? Where it's kind of very formal. But if we share things in the way that we take them in and share them with other people, sometimes it'll resonate a lot better with someone else because they might be thinking the same way because it's not so corporate sort of thing. Makes sense? So with that being said, don't rely just on these calls on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure that you take advantage of the back office, because if you're only relying on these, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that far quickly. You're going to get very far slowly. You probably won't get far at all. Most of you will fall off if you're only relying on these. So if you haven't taken advantage of the back office of the Market Pro of the university, if you have not, please make sure that you do that. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about with a back office or university or Market Pro or whatever, please let us know in Champions University chat, because then someone needs what we would call in Spanish a chancla or a slipper. So make sure that you make that clear so that we're all on the same page. So you take advantage of that. And of course, lastly, the the Learn Live sessions with the actual market experts. I could call myself very knowledgeable, experienced, a lot of great days and bad days market. But I am, unfortunately, sorry to break it to you, I'm not one of the experts that you pay to learn from. I can't call myself an expert as of yet. So make sure you take advantage of the Learn Lives. A lot of the team here that participates in the Learn Live sessions are on those on a regular basis. So take advantage of them. If you miss them because of work, timing, whatever, watch the recordings. They are worth it. Those are recordings that are definitely worth watching. Okay, so with all of that out of the way now, what I'd like to do is to get into a little bit of basics of what I'm going to call counting pips and kind of have a standard expectation, because I get it. A lot of people get excited when they hear trading and investing. They see all the stuff on social media. They see all the lifestyle, the clubbing and the cars and all the fancy stuff. And they want the success without the hard work. And they seem to have like a lot of disconnects with what it takes to get there. And when they start to see that it involves work, their brain turns off. They're like, oh no, this isn't for me. This isn't what I was looking for. That's right. You were looking for a get rich quick and they don't exist. And this is no different. So if you're looking for that lifestyle or for that extra taste or flavor of life, you're going to have to go through some pain. Exactly. Caleb's got it. No pain, no gain. So let's not make it painful, but you will have to stretch. So Caleb's got the right idea. And with that in mind, you got to understand that there are going to be some times you're going to be listening to some dry material that you just want to rip your hair out, because it's just so boring at times. And I'm going to be the only one that says it, because that's the truth and it's the reality. And it's not going to be exciting every time, but I promise you that it's worth it. I mean, most of you sat through college, university, and some of you regret it, some of you don't. I'm not bashing college, university. I'm just saying that if you're willing to do it, you knew that there was a reason for it at the end of it. If you go to work, I mean, you deal with your boss for a reason, because you're going to get paid at the end, of course. And this is no different. So you got to have that mindset shift. And another element that comes with it, before I show you like counting pips and all that stuff, it's a lot of you, because I've spoken to a lot of you one-on-one directly, whatever. And for those watching the recording, this means you too. A lot of your math sucks. And I'm just being totally blunt. And a lot of people shy from that. And I'm just saying it like it is, because you need to acknowledge something, that if your math skills are not that great, that's okay. Just acknowledge, hey, they're not so great right now, but that's something you need to improve on. And there's no shame in understanding that you're going to have to take some extra time to learn that aspect of math. And this doesn't mean you have to become a math whiz or scientist, but there's some basic adding and subtracting and sometimes multiplying and compounding that you're going to have to do. And you can find that on YouTube easily, because if you're going to go into this thinking to yourself, you know what, I'm going to become a pro trader, or I'm going to make sure I retire the 9 to 5 by getting involved into a field that is all about numbers, and I'm not going to improve my math skills. Like, think of how that sounds, right? It makes no sense. So if it means you got to brush up on your math, so be it, right? Maybe the job that you're in, or career, whatever your current circumstances, doesn't demand a lot of math, and maybe that's why you need to brush up on it, and that's okay. But just acknowledge it. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to count pips and basically use these tools to your advantage, because a lot of you get excited and you hear all of the results from like the gold channels, or like, let's say, like the GC funds or Astro or whatever, and you hear them trading like the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq, and again gold and whatever. Sometimes they trade oil. Now these ones specifically, indexes and commodities, so like precious metals, whatever, resources, these move crazy fast. And if you're a newbie, if you're a beginner and you've never done this before, you're still learning and getting the hang of it. As a side note, please do not put any actual money into the markets yet. Just stick with the demo account. I'll always promote the demo account. There's no shame in sticking to it for 3, 6, 9 months, whatever it is, because losing no money is better than losing money, right? So you get all excited. You see all these results from all these crazy trades that people do in the fast markets, but you're not ready for that yet. So maybe just trade currency pairs, and I'll show you the difference. Because the analogy I'd like to give is, imagine your neighborhood road. It goes a certain speed, right? Here in Toronto, it's like, depending where it's at, could be like 30 kilometers an hour, 40 kilometers an hour. For my Americans, it's not 40, it's like less. I don't remember the conversion. I think it's like 20 or 30, whatever. The point is, it's slow in a neighborhood area. If you're going to go onto the highway or the freeway, it's much, much faster, right? So a lot of you guys see the speed that happens on the highway or the freeway, but you haven't even learned how to go at the speed of like the neighborhoods. You're basically still on a scooter or a bicycle, and you're trying to jump on the highway. You're going to get destroyed. So I don't want to see anybody get destroyed. I want everybody to gradually get there the right way, because there's a lot of hype, and the markets do not care about your feelings. The markets do not care if you know or don't know. And a lot of brokers know that over 90% of retail traders, that's all of us. Okay. Even if you had $1 million in your portfolio, you're like considered small fries in the trading world. They know that over 90% of traders are going to fail and lose their accounts because they don't know what they're doing. So if they know that, they're always betting against you. So we're going to make sure that we turn the odds into our favor. All right. Is everybody ready? Yes. Drop a thumbs up, or show me a thumbs up. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to keep things super, super simple for all of you today. Let me get this going over here. Whoa, things. Okay. Okay. So if you don't know what TradingView is, make sure you go to TradingView, tradingview.com. You don't have to pay for it. Use the free version. I use the free version. A lot of the top traders still stay with the free version. Some get so annoyed at the ads that they do pay for it. Then maybe they want the other tools. That's fine. So if I'm going to start things from here. If you don't know something, a term or an expression of something, go here, investopedia.com. Okay. Before we start counting pips, you guys need to understand how to use resources to your advantage. Use the back office. It's all there. The Market Pro University, go through all the videos, tutorials, whatever. But if you ever need like kind of like a Bible sort of thing, like an investing Bible, come here, investopedia.com. If you're ever unsure what's going on in the markets today, is it a good day? Is it a bad day? You don't have to understand what every piece of news means. This doesn't mean that you're going to be sitting there listening to the radio, listening to podcasts and whatever. Like who cares about that? Like if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But you got to understand that, where there's a lot of announcements in the day, it can impact where the market's going to go. You're not going to know if it's going to go up or down until the news is out and then the market does its thing. Okay. So the idea is to ride waves. And then lastly, if you're really not sure, should really use ChatGPT because you can ask it anything. Like, for example, I was asking it just some random thought that came to my mind earlier, and you can use ChatGPT as an extra resource. I also use it for like, social media and stuff like that. So if you're wondering why Edwn Zapata is such an amazing mentor, even ChatGPT can't tell you. So use these three things. Now, trading view, what I want you guys to understand is the importance of the two things when it comes to gold and currencies. Okay. So Edwin, what are you talking about? What's the difference? What do you mean? Why are you saying staying away? If there's all this money to be made, I want to make some money. I get it. So look, when it comes to gold, we're going to look at the price and then understand pips. So I'm going to assume that you guys have an idea about pips. And if you don't, watch the previous training. I believe Christian went over it on last week's, was it last week or the week before, on counting pips or whatever. If not, either way, that's why you should be attending the Market Pro. So with gold, the current price of gold as of right now, we can see that it's at 1901 USD. So 1901.23 USD. Okay. So that is for the price of gold. And I'm going to show you a comparison. You'll see what I'm talking about. USD CAD is the currency pair of US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Okay. And for those that don't know, yes, those dollars are different. So I'm showing you these two. One is a precious metal and one is a currency, or currency pair, right? One versus the other. So if we look at gold and we look at the price and how it moves, let's go with this previous candle. We'll go on to show you how volatile, meaning how crazy it can get. We'll go into the 5-minute chart. Okay. And now everything's gone. Nice. I don't remember which way I was scrolling. Here we go. See, you don't have to be a genius to do this. You just have to be an iGenius. Okay. We'll just go back to an hour then. Interesting. All of a sudden, it's asked me to refer a friend, and everything just became magnified. Excellent. Insanity indeed. Okay, cool. Well, we'll start here while that regulates itself. Okay, so with the US dollar, take a look at this. We'll go to the 1 hour chart instead. Maybe it won't be so crazy. And if you don't understand what these green and red things are, these are what are called candlesticks. It's just a way of measuring different time frames. So you can look at it by the minute, by the 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, day, week, month, whatever. Okay. And it's just telling you what type of actions happened in that time frame. So a lot of people like to go by psychologies of the market because they use those metrics. They use like the type of volume, meaning like how many people were buying and selling, all these different things. But what we're going to focus on is how much gets traded in that time frame. So if we go in here, we can look at this candlestick. We'll just go with the measure ruler here, and we're going to count this one here. Okay. So this green one here, we're going to count how much it moved in the 1 hour span. Okay. We'll go from the bottom of the wick to the top, more or less. Okay. So if we measure it out in this hour, it moved, we can see it right here, 19.2. So 19 pips. In the grand scheme of things, not a lot. Okay. There's a method to my madness. Don't worry. If you look at the price, you can also measure it this way by looking at the actual price. You can see the bottom here, 1.34999. And then here, 1.35193, just to give you an idea. You can also look at the top. It'll show you. can't hold it, but it says up there the open, the OHLC. So the open, the high, the low, the close of that time frame. If you want to do it that way to get the exact numbers. Okay, so we can see that it didn't move much in this time frame. So it's not going to be going in crazy movements. If we go to gold, let's see if this is back to normal. Interesting. Well, you guys definitely can't say you can't see it. Okay, so let's go with this one here, this big mama over here. Okay, so uh looking at the price on, you can see 190653, or if you want to be exact, if you go to the top of the screen, which is like right here, 190649, and the low, which is down here, it's the low was 1989. Shows on the top there. Okay, so how many dollars in terms of difference from the high to the low? How many dollars was this? Like exact. Type it in the chat. Caleb squinting. Caleb, this is like super magnified. Starbucks needs to turn the music down. I don't know if I can compete with Taylor Swift, Caleb. I mean, that's pretty catchy. I got that monotone, put you to sleep robot voice. I don't know if I could compete with Taylor Swift. So, okay, how much from the high to the low in terms of dollars, the price difference? So for your basic, I'm speaking Spanish from Spain. For your basic math skills, just subtract 1906.49 minus 1989. Yeah, Kevin caught that. So what is the price difference? Okay, perfect. So $5.60. Cool. Everybody following so far? Yes. On gold, each pip. Okay, sorry, Caleb. On gold, each pip is measured with every 10-cent movement. So when gold moves every 10 cents, every 10 cents is 1 pip. So if the price difference here on gold is $5.60, how many pips is that? I'll phrase it in another way. How many times can you divide 10 cents into $5.60? 56. So we have 56 pips. Okay. Does everybody understand that so far? We got 56 pips in a 1 hour movement. And I'm going to show you a crazier example. Okay. So 56 pips in 1 hour in this example. And we were looking at this one. I'm going to make you guys do the exact amount. So same idea. From the high to the low, what is the price difference? Here's where some are going to get lost because you're going to see fractions of a cent. So 1.35213, whatever, minus the low of the 1.35131. How many pips is that? You know why some of you get confused? Because you guys forget that all you really care about is the last 2 digits. Well, in this case, we forget about the very, very last one. That's the micro pip that Christian was talking about. and we only care about the other two. So we would be counting just from the 2-1 to the 1-3. On the high, we're looking at the 2-1, and on the low, we're looking at the 1-3. So exactly, it's 8 pips. So gold was 56 pips, and this currency pair, US Canadian dollar, is 8 pips. So in an hour's time, I'm just giving you a small example. We had one that moved 50 something pips and one that was under 10 pips. Over here, this candle here moved in a crazier amount. This one moved, what, 3523, 480, 20. It's 43 pips. So now this crazy movement happened kind of like gold, right? So now you might be thinking, Edwin, this moved kind of like gold. So why don't I just stay with gold, right? If we look at how often this happens, it doesn't happen that often in comparison to what I'm going to show you in gold. You'll see crazy movements when you hit different order blocks, whatever. So like here it was the 472. What is this? The low, 35. So 40 something pips. So we're moving in under 40 pips. Cool. Whatever. Let's go to gold. Let's fix this up, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, here. Here, the price was, the low was 1915, 17, and the high was 1925.50. Just to keep the numbers simple, we have a price difference of about $10. Okay. So a $10 price change in gold, it's 10 cents a pip. So how many pips was this? Drop it in the chat. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Benjamin. So we have a move of over 100 pips. And if we keep looking, this is not uncommon. Yeah, it's a ton of pips. And it gets crazier than that. So this is in an hour span. So you might be thinking, yeah, Edwin, but like I'll just close it or whatever, like during this hour. No. Nice try. So to pause for a moment, if you think about it, if gold can have, and the NASDAQ and Dow Jones moves in crazy amounts also, right? Like it'll totally destroy you again, like a highway. If it moves in these crazy amounts, there's a lot of potential for gain, but there's a lot of pain that comes with it if you're not experienced and you're not ready for it. So if you don't understand your risk to reward ratios, if you don't understand like how to count pips, you're just going to be blindly copy and pasting alerts, which I never recommend. If you're just practicing and you're like new to this, then yeah, just for practice sake, copy and paste. But no, like if you're just thinking I'm going to get to the point where I just copy and paste and I can retire my 9 to 5, what you are indirectly saying is I'm going to gamble my way out of my job, because until you understand what it is that you're inputting, you're just blindly gambling. So please take the time. Don't buy into the hype. Don't worry like, oh my God, I got to input this alert because I need to leave my job by next month. No, just take the time. You get the alert. Use the education that you're taking in. Look at the chart and decide for yourself, is this a trade that I want to take? Now, from the parameters they gave me, the stop loss, take profit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, is this my risk to reward? How many pips are they signing out? How many pips am I risking on the stop loss? And how many am I going to gain for TP 1, 2, 3? Because let's find a crazier example. And when I find it, because there's times where gold will move like 800 pips in an hour. And if you're not ready for that, then God bless you. So while I find one of these, as a rule of thumb, if you're not sure, like proper risk management, risk to rewards, whatever, just start with understanding one-to-one. Now, that's not the best way to trade, but if you start to understand one-to-one risk to reward, then you'll be on a good track. Meaning, if you're going to risk $50, you're risking 50 to gain 50, 1-for-1. Okay, you have better results if it's like 1-to-2 minimum. Because if you're risking $50 to earn $100, that's a lot better. But then we have traders that do 1-to-3, 1-to-6, 1-to-13 in some cases. And the safer you play, like this rhymes. This is a bar. The safer you play, the longer you stay. Okay, so Edwin just thought of that, so remember that. Let's see if we can find a crazy one. So this one is from 2634. Nope, 80 pips. Let's see if we find something, because it's happened to me. And then there's something called slippage, which means you can have your stop loss. And this has happened to me in gold many times, where the movements go so fast that even if you have your stop loss set, the orders that go through aren't fast enough. So it basically closes your order at the next available price, and it could be well beyond your stop loss. So if you were running at like the limit of your risk, you could be totally taken out beyond your stop loss. Here, 1920 to 34, this 140 pips, almost 150. 1903, this is almost 200 pips. Over here, 1903, almost 200 pips. So look, 200 pips on the way up, almost 200 pips on the way down. Okay. So I want to ask you guys, drop this in the chat. When it comes to trading gold and currency pairs, do you see the difference in like the movements? Like, does this make sense? Am I losing you guys? And I know it's gonna be kind of like boring at times, but like, I want you guys to really get it, because like I get messages all the time from the team saying like, I'm not making money here, or I'm making money, but then I lose it. And like these like little key things could be that missing link to really change your trading style. And everyone's style here is going to be different. Like Michelle's is going to be different. Caleb, Benjamin, Kevin, you know, that's a cool name. Storm, Billy Storm. So everyone's going to be totally different. Raza's, everybody's different. But I understand most of it. Cool. So if all of you think, not all of you, if for those of you that think that you're going to figure this out in a month or 6 months, please change your mindset. Just be patient. Don't rush this. You're not going to master it in 60 days. It's impossible, especially for the guys that they got their egos, you know, all over the place. They think, I figured this out, no problem. I've been on a crazy win streak and I'm an exception to the rule, and I'm ready to go all in with my live account. I don't need a demo anymore. That's for babies. You are going to be the first one crying, because I've seen it all the time, and I was one of them too. So like, just get your ego in check. The market doesn't care about your feelings, and you got to understand that patience is the name of the game. A friend of mine taught me that this is the only industry, trading and investing, this is the only industry, the only place where being patient pays off. So if you can be patient and disciplined, you can have the results you're looking for. Let's see a trick question before we change things up. Okay. Somebody asked me about this. I'm going to test you guys that have been in the funds chat. So here we got the Dow Jones. Okay. Now, how do you count pips? I'm asking my seasoned people here, putting you guys on the spot, guys and gals. How do you count pips on the Dow Jones? For every what is 1 pip? And for the new people, I'm asking the experienced people because even though they've been here a while, they should know. And if they don't know, this is a good place to put everybody on the spot. So Michelle is saying 10 cents is 1 pip. Anybody else? Everybody scared? I'm waiting for an answer. Michelle's bold enough to put herself out there. Now everybody's scared. Who will break it? On the Dow Jones, for every what counts as 1 pip? Like, how do you count pips on the Dow Jones is my question. It's a great answer, Daniel. That's not the answer I'm looking for. So everyone gets confused, and this is the point. So this is the point of this, because that misunderstanding can cost you your account. And if you're going to be blindly like copying and pasting, you can get totally wrecked. And just understanding that an index, currency pair, precious metal, that they all trade a little bit different. When you get sent an alert when you're going to be looking at a trade, understanding which is which will make a huge difference. So the way that it's every dollar is a pip. Some brokers might be different, but for TIO markets and for those using the Union Wealth Management, whatever, for the GC funds, it's $1 a pip. So for every dollar that the Dow Jones moves, it's 1 pip. You were way off, yes, but maybe the broker that you use, it is every cent, or maybe it's every 10 cents. Because here's another aspect of it, and I'm gonna lose some people on this, and it's okay if you don't understand what I'm saying. It's fine. It just put it back in the back of your mind. With indexes, you're buying an amount. So it's like packages. You're buying X amounts, like so many thousands or whatever units of like, I'm gonna just say stock of that index. An index is a pool of top companies, like stock companies, and they basically move as an index, as like a basket, like a bundle of top companies. So that's why these are measured differently. It's not a currency pair. It's not a precious metal. So precious metal is going to move one way. Oil is going to move another way. An index is going to move differently because it's measured differently. They all move together in the market, but how you measure them with each broker might be kind of different. So if we take that, like, 10 cents a pip, you might be calculating pips wrong on the Dow Jones, when really it's $1 a pip, right? And that difference could be a difference of times 10 when you are calculating your lot sizes, when you're calculating your risk to reward, your stop loss. So as the last example, let's look at the movements on the Dow Jones. Let me get rid of this. Let's look at this candle here. Okay, so 34,393 to 34,565. What's the difference? What's the price difference? So it's just under 200, right? Someone do the math. Yes, correct, Raza. Assuming you're using the TIO markets or Union Wealth's management brokerage. It should be standard across most brokers, but some might measure it a little different. Like some might measure it by the cents, by the 10 cents. I haven't seen like by the cent, I've seen by the 10 cents. So what do we got here? 34,565 minus 34,393. So we have 172 pips in this one move alone. So things can go crazier because we're talking about like by the 1 hour. Hopefully this doesn't melt like the last time. And it did. Great. But you can have crazy movements like by the minutes as well. So like if a piece of news comes out, the markets like the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, I'm going to just close this. The gold, NASDAQ, Dow Jones can totally flip tens of pips or hundreds of pips in an instant. And if you're on the right side of that trade, it's a beautiful day. And if you're on the wrong side, trust me, tears cannot come down fast enough, especially if you were over leveraged, which is why you guys got to make sure you practice proper risk to reward so that if it does happen, you're okay. Get it? Because the good days will come, but the bad days will come more frequently. And for those that are new, you're going to think, is this guy insane? Isn't the whole idea to win? Yes. But think of it like a casino. Please don't treat it like a casino. The house always wins. So we're not going to beat the markets. Okay. The traders that are moving the markets, these are whales, these are bankers, these are big financial institutions. These people have more money than we could ever imagine. Okay. And they move, they manipulate, and they make all the different shifts in the world, and we can't beat them. And no, we can't join them. So the idea is to catch their waves and literally just ride their waves. And by understanding the right risk to reward, by understanding what we learn in the Market Pro and the university, by understanding what the experts are looking at, because we have access to be sitting in sessions with actual experts and ask them questions, we can learn the psychology of what they're looking at so that we can make our own educated decisions to enter and exit, to ride the waves just enough so we can catch just enough fish in the stream. Like, if there are vegans here, relax. Okay, I'm just going to give an example. If there's a stream full of fish, you don't need to catch all the fish to eat. You just need to catch enough fish in your net so that you can eat. So it's not about just giving fish away. We got to teach you how to catch 1 or 2 fish so you can consistently eat every single time. And that 1 or 2 fish is exactly the 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, which is what you got to understand so that if you do lose a fish, you don't worry because you know that the outcome is on your side whenever you're riding waves. Because if you lose one and then you lose another, you just lost 2. But then if you win the third one and that's 1 to 2, you basically made your 2 back. And if you win the next one, then you're up 2, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? Yes? Thumbs up, those on camera. Thumbs up makes sense. Thumbs down if it doesn't make sense. Blake? Yes, cool. Cool. So I know you guys see a lot of like hype and stuff on social media. You see it a lot in different areas, but I'll always be the one to keep it real. For those that have spoken to me one-on-one, I don't care. I just say it like it is. If feelings get hurt, I don't worry too much because I'd rather you hear the truth from me and lay it on the table. You'll see on social media everybody hyping it up. Look at how much money I made and this and that. And the reality is most of theirs are probably demo accounts anyway. So whenever you talk to somebody that has experience, you'll know that they're not sharing doom and gloom. It's just like, listen, I've been slapped up by the markets, and I don't want you to get slapped up. So let's set the right expectation, and the odds are against you. So let's turn that in your favor. So if you understand how the game works, then it's not going to affect you. Cool. So if you haven't been practicing, shame on you. And if you're new, then start practicing with a demo account. I love that we've been sharing more results in the Champions University. I would love to see that more active. I'm just as guilty. Okay. I'll take ownership for that. And I would love to see more people pass the funds, the GC funds. If you don't know what that is, basically the broker will give you money to trade for them, but you have to go through a series of tests. If you have not proven it to yourself with a demo account, please stay away from it. I don't care if people get mad, because what's the way that works, and this question I got often, how do you get funded? You pay to take a test with the broker, and then you have now paid for a demo account. And if you fail the test, then God bless you, try again, right? Put more coins in the machine. If you pass, you get your money back and a little reward, and then you get a funded account and you get shared revenue, shared profits. Cool. That doesn't happen overnight. Some people are going to get lucky, beginner's luck. You don't want that to be you. So the last thing I want to hear is for people saying, Edwin, I tried to get into the GC funds and I went for the challenge and I failed it and I lost my money. You didn't lose it. Well, you did and you didn't. It's you kind of bit on more than you could chew. And I don't want that to happen to any of you. All of you work hard for your money. Some of you are in tougher situations than others. And I don't want you to throw your money away. If all you have is $100, $500, or $1,000, wait, be patient, because it does pay off. Practice with the demo account. There's plenty of time. The market is not going anywhere. And the day that the market does go somewhere, trust me, we all got bigger problems to worry about than what's going on in the market. So be patient, practice with the demo account. Caleb looks like I'm talking about the rapture or something. Pretty much, yeah. So, so just relax and just have fun with it. Share in the chats. If you come across some cool information, share it. You're going to have good days and bad days. So share the bad days too. Let's laugh about it. I've had plenty of them. Okay. And with that being said, now you have a better understanding why Daddy Edwin said stay away from precious metals and indexes while you're learning, and just get familiar with the currency pairs, because all the currency pairs are going to move more or less the same. They're not as fast. So I get that it's not as exciting, but the last thing you want to do is to accidentally develop a gambling addiction. Okay. No problem, Caleb. It's all good. That would kind of creep me out anyway. I take that back. So be patient, have fun. Okay. It's all good. Things aren't going anywhere. We have lots of access to experts. Attend the Learn Lives. Share your results. For those doing the marketing, share it on your social medias. And yeah, other than that, keep smiling and don't let anyone piss you off. And I'll see you guys in the chats.